today I'm going to go over the basic fundamentals, fundamentals, well they're not so fun, what you need when you're going to start boxing. I asked a lot of you on Instagram, what did you want to see? Did you want to see any training videos, motivational stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then I thought, you know what, just recently I had an influx of new clients I've taken on, new fighters, because I do have my own private boxing studio now. Happy dance, yeah. So I thought, you know what, I have new clients coming to me, gonna reach out to them, tell them the basics that they need. You're gonna start boxing, you need 3 pieces of equipment. So first of all, you're gonna need gloves, you need hand wraps, and you need shoes. Now, let's start with the shoes, okay? This is one of my older pairs of boxing boots. As you can see, it's a little bit higher because it gives ankle support unlike a regular running shoe doesn't, and it's super flexible. Because when you box, you don't actually step flat foot, you're more on the balls of your foot. Toe, your heel, the pocket of your foot, the ball of your foot. And this is where you step most of the time. So if you're gonna get a running shoe, you need something that's flexible. So here's a running shoe that I have. I should cover the brand. It's not so flexible, but I don't actually box in this, I coach in this. I've never actually worn running shoes for boxing, and I have obviously my clients, all of my clients for running shoes. So get something that is a little bit more flexible. The more flexible it is, the better it is. You don't really need something with a heel like this, like with a lift. So if you can't get a boxing boot, or even like a wrestling shoe, then get at least a running shoe that is very thin with the sole, has no lift, and is extremely flexible. That will help you be a little bit more comfortable with getting your boxing stance correct. The next thing you're gonna need are hand wraps. So these are actually the hand wraps I've made. This is one of 3 pairs that I've designed. Now, so how my Slay boxing line came about was I had a lot of clients come to me, and they show up on the first day with really bad hand wraps, chunky shoes, and really bad boxing gloves. Because they're new to the sport, they don't know how to pick their gear, which of course is only fair to assume they don't know how to pick their gear. And it's actually very hard to find gear. So I took it to the next step and I said, you know what, I'm gonna design you gear. So that's what I did. This is the 3rd hand wrap that I designed, the Conquer line, because I was getting a lot of guys that buy my products, so that makes something a little bit more masculine. When you're picking out a hand wrap, you'll notice that it's pretty thick because 5.5 meters long of hand wrap. So you want something that is at least 3.5 to 4 meters. I made mine super long because the way that I wrap my clients' hands gives them a little bit more protection on the knuckles. Some people put sponges. I made it in a 2-for-1 deal where you just fold this, use it, and then wrap the rest of your hands. You don't have to buy anything else beyond the hand wrap. So you want something that is at least 4 meters in length and something that has a little bit of stretch. It's also not super thick. I know some hand wraps are not stretchy at all and they're thick, super thick. Not necessarily the thinner is the better, but you want something that is thin that you can wrap up and protect your hands, because basically this is all that's protecting your hands from getting cuts and breaking your wrist. So it's not an article of clothing that's to be taken lightly, and it's not even an article of clothing, it's a piece of protection. It is equipment, okay? So choose wisely when you pick your hand wrap, or you can just buy from me. Moving on, the 3rd piece of equipment that you need are boxing gloves. Now you see here, it says ounces right there. So this is a 10 ounce. So a lot of clients, again, in all fairness, they pick what they think is right, and they don't really have any kind of preconceived idea or knowledge of how to pick out the gloves. So they go and they pick out a glove, it fits nice and small, and they show up here with a 6 ounce or 8 ounce. First of all, you should never be using a 6 ounce, okay? 8 ounce, that's fine if you're hitting like the bag lightly, but I haven't used an 8 ounce for quite a while. I think I only have 1 pair of 8 ounce actually. I use a 10 ounce, sometimes I use a 12 ounce. When I'm doing pad work with my coach and publisher on there, I do use a 12 ounce because he tends to slap a little bit more, and the 12 ounce is needed for protection, hence, see my knuckles? Always the first 2 knuckles. You want to get something that fits you well. So this, I made my own glove because I find most of my female clients, being that they're female, have smaller hands. I don't want their hand to swim around the glove. So it has a nice fit, the padding is good. You'll notice that the padding, if the padding starts to break, if there's a line in it, or you can squish, like this is padding still really good, then you need to replace it. There is no real timeline. It all is relative to how you treat your gloves, how you look after them, and how much you use them. But general rule of thumb, if you can push and you feel the padding moving, you need to replace them. So this is what I use for my heavy bag and pad work. General rule of thumb is if you're above 100 pounds, use the 10 ounce. If you're hitting hard on the heavy bag, up it to a 12 ounce. You can never really go wrong with a bigger glove. You can definitely go wrong with a smaller glove because that's when you're gonna get hurt. Safety first, kids. When it comes to sparring though, I use a bigger glove. Now, I'm not particularly a fan of these gloves because they're super wide. But I'm an athlete and an entrepreneur, so all my money is either eaten or put in my business. So I bought these because they were on sale from Lazada. These are Venom. I like the Venom design, but I feel for a woman's hand, they're way too wide. Like, if you look here, my hand, there's a good like 3 inches, maybe 2.5 inches, where my hand is just like swimming around, has excess space. So be a little bit mindful. Now, these are 14 ounce, they're a heavier glove because I spar with them. And the reason why you spar with a bigger glove is because you want more protection for you. You want more protection for your sparring opponent. This is not a bout. You're not there to hurt each other. You're there to practice. Also, because there's more protection, more padding, it's a little bit heavier. So when you do step in the ring for a professional bout or amateur bout, your hands are just flying. So train hard, fight easy. That's the mentality. So there you have it. If you're gonna start boxing, you need 3 important things. You need running shoes that are flexible, that don't have a huge lift, and that kind of like try to get a really thin sole. Hey, if your shoes are too heavy, they're too stiff and rigid, and the sole is too thick, I'm just gonna make you jump rope and box with no shoes on. Hey, that's what they do in Muay Thai, right? Second, you need gloves. Get them according to your waist. So if you're above 100 pounds, go for the 10 ounce. If you're about 120 or above, go with the 12 ounce. If you're sparring, definitely get the 14 ounce at least. Okay, guys, you're gonna have to get like 16 ounce. And the third thing is hand wraps. Get something that is at least 4 meters in length, has stretch, is not super thick. It's something that gives a little bit of a stretch. So there you go. I will be posting more videos now that I have my studio and have the luxury of posting and doing whatever. So if you want a training video on something specific, leave a comment below. If not, share, like this. And yeah, so kudos, karmas, and fist bumps to you. Peace.